Well, hey now, folks, check me out in the corner here, John Duffin, Duffin Media. Hope you are having a great start to your day. And it's about 12 noon here on the East Coast. If you happen to be checking me out, and I never mind if you're checking me out, by the way, I like it. Um, on the East Coast, 12 noon, it's a rainy day. A little bit of rain out theater here in Philadelphia. If you're checking me out on Facebook, fantastic. I love it, and I'm always grateful for this. And hey, if you're on Facebook, wonderful. Welcome. I salute you. If you happen to be on Facebook, drop a note in the comments, and I'll know it's you. I know there's people here, but the only way I get to know that it's you specifically, and if you're shy, don't sweat it. That's okay. But the only way I get to know specifically that it's you is if you are dropping a note in the comments. I'll know it's you. I'll know where you're from, and I'll know what's going on. And I always like that better. Also, too, folks, I happen to be on LinkedIn Live as well. So if you see me, amazing. I hope my loud voice is not startling you. Don't mute me though, because that would hurt my feelings. But what I'm going to say is this: if you're on LinkedIn, drop a note in the comments as well. Again, I'll know you're here, and that makes me happy. And if you're hanging out on YouTube, wonderful, and I thank you. So what I wanted to touch on today is a couple of things, and I really am going to isolate a couple of pieces of business. Folks, the whole point when I show up live, when I get to show up live, the whole point happens to be I get to optimize your communications by leveraging your voice, leveraging your mindset, your physicality. It's what I get to do here at Duffin Media and Duffin Coaching. We center on business, but all of this involves life. So again, if you are hanging out, this is wonderful. We could spend a few minutes, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So in the meantime, thank you for joining me. I want to focus on just a couple of things, if you don't mind. And it has to do with this combination: nerves and also the ability to listen, how they can intersect and help you in the right way and also not in the right way too, right? So I'm going to say the following, which is, as I am here, I talk about nerves when you're about to speak. Now, often I speak in terms of when I'm going to present or when you're going to present to a client, to a colleague, to if you're on a stage, if I'm hosting a podcast, if you're guesting on a podcast, that's typically where I go. But I would also say this impacts singular conversations. It also impacts group conversations. And the nerves part is what I'd like to work on today a little bit, okay? Because what you say when you speak has impact too. The listening part is critical, but it all ties into point blank how you respond. I know this sounds selfish, but it's critical. How you respond and when you respond in regards to what you're saying, because people will remember that. So I wanted to isolate a couple of things, right? And I'm really going to touch on the following. Anytime I host a group training session or speak on a stage, honest to God, one of the key things that I bring upon is this key question: are you even aware? And the question is, have you ever had a conversation, business or personal, presentation, in encounter in business, a communication, right, where you receive surprisingly negative feedback or even worse, none whatsoever? Okay. And you couldn't figure out why. So to me, one of the things that I talk about is, folks, the ability to be able to utilize leverage and make certain that what you say matters, is timely, is memorable in a good way. Okay. So, what I'm going to focus on today is the following quick story. I was just talking about this with a friend and colleague of mine. First time I got to speak on a stage, that is. I laugh because when I say speak, it's funny to me because I've delivered about I don't know, an infinite number of presentations, and the fact of the matter is, for gosh sakes, that it's literally. Oh, by the way, and I'm messing around with my banner, so forgive me for looking distracted. Uh, One of the things that I want to be able to do is oh, here we go. Hold on a second here. Am I doing this right finally? I'm trying to get rid of something. And I know it sounds weird, and I'm messing around, and I've gotten pretty darn good. There you go. You miss me? Um, I kept the banner up as all this is, and I'm in this little corner of the room, and it was looking and feeling weird. So I just figured it out on my own. Hope you're all proud of me. Now I get to speak to you appropriately. I'm amazed that I'm literally all snuggled up in some turtleneck here, but I'm going to identify what we were talking about before. Okay. One of the things I want to focus on again is this ability to speak where your nerves don't get the best of you. And not just so you'll sound pretty, but more importantly, because it's critical in the sense of what you're saying, right? If you're distracted, and we talk about here at Duffin Media, Duffin Coaching, distractions are death. All right. If you're distracted, you're going to say something that doesn't best represent you. And with that being said, I'm going to share this quickie bit in regards to the nerves. Again, I'm speaking to a colleague in regards to this specific speaking event. It's my first time that I got to do this on a stage. And as it was getting close to my intro, they did the whole host MC thing and welcome John Duff, and all that stuff, right? So, although I had done all of those other sales presentations before, executive presentations, I had never done it quite like this. And so, therefore, I'm bringing that up because I started to get really, really keyed up. And I'm seeing the volume of seats and the number of people in the room, and everybody's filing in, and it's getting loud, right? And I have to speak over that and command a stage, whatever, right? So the excitement, as it turned out, was a good thing. Really was a good thing. However, those nerves can really throw you, right? People don't know what you're nervous about. If you're acting or sounding nervous, I'm telling you, you could say something that you regret. Okay. Keep in mind, folks, the tip of the day, it only matters if it matters to them. Again, it only matters if it matters to them. People hear what they want to hear. If you're busy, if you're distracted, honest to God, it's like you're only going to focus on things. It's like a dog whistle, right? Rover, huh? I know that just looked really weird. Hopefully, we'll handle that in edit for you kind folks on the replay. And folks, if you're joining me in progress on the replay, I think it's great. I see people in the room, but again, remember the replay crowd counts too. So to repeat, to handle nerves so that you're speaking appropriately. Because when you're speaking for money or someone's paying you or it's an important conversation, nerves, distractions will kill you. All right. So knowing that it only matters if it matters to them. I'm going to, let's see if I can, there you go. That's what I want to do too. Here's my top 3 tips for today. It's come up a lot lately, and it is so important to listen. Listen appropriately. Listen in kind. Stay in the moment. Hear somebody. Really hear them. Because if you're distracted, nervous, whatever, things on your mind, you can't ask the really important good questions that will help you progress a relationship. You're just going to bat out facts or you're going to bat out an opinion, and none of those are great. Really, it's terribly important to slow things down a little bit. I tend to speak really quickly. When I'm in the zone, so to speak, I realize to speak more slowly. And that is simply because I am trying to bring the speed of a communication down. All right. So, how does that impact you? Right? Really pay attention to what someone is saying. Obviously, pay attention to their body language too. Right. But it's so important that you are addressing what they want you, the client, the audience, your friend, your colleague. Make certain you are addressing it properly too. Why? Because honest to God, what occurs is you say something, you don't like the answer. Well, the situation has now passed. And those sorts of distractions, poor answers, you're going to leave that to interpretation, right? In this day and age, people don't have an unlimited amount of time. And I can guarantee you from personal experience, they don't have, and I'll speak for me too, they don't have an unlimited amount of bandwidth. They don't. Too much is going on in their lives. Everybody has something going on. And so often it's not something they want, right? But it's there nonetheless. And it's taking up a big portion of their brain and their bandwidth. And that's the science. You don't have unlimited capabilities, right? You can only store so much. So the ability to listen to somebody, really listen in the situation. Don't worry about the speed of the moment. Very few people are going to tell you, hey, let's speed this up. If they do, what do? I know, listen to them and speed it up. But you want to stay clear, focused on the matter at hand, address what they want addressed. We talked about in a prior tip communication the ability, you're so much more intuitive when you get the questions in before you have the meeting, the communication. It's so helpful to know what interests them in advance so that you're not flailing and guessing. And again, you never know when a key business situation is going to come up. So I bring this up. So that ability to listen, let's get that back up there again. The ability to listen, to ask good questions, and for God's sake, pay attention to their answers. Because when you get a follow-up conversation, when you get the opportunity to be able to deliver something that matters, talk to them. Don't talk at them. The reverberations of a poor communication go far. You may not get that next opportunity. Try as you might. And the other part is today that I want to touch on, right? The nerves leading up to a conversation are one thing. How about, folks, the nerves within a conversation? And that a point blank. There you go. Come on, Johnny. The nerves within a conversation. Somebody says something where you're a little bit, wait, what? And so why I bring that up happens a lot. You can't let it throw you. You can't. I am bringing up a situation that ultimately made me really happy. But what I would point blank and say, you get nervous. If it's in a group situation, look for a friendly face. Look for a friendly face. If it is as you are walking in the door, give yourself the gift of the Navy SEALs breathing technique. We will focus more on this, but it's a simple reminder that keeping it simple really impacts the way that you get to communicate so you can shuck the nerves, whether it's leading into a conversation or in the midst of one. I really, really, really love the fact that I want to show you something as well too, and I want to deal with the fact that there was an opportunity that came up in my life that really mattered to me, and so I'm fishing for something. I hate when I do that, right? But that's okay. That's okay. I am fishing for information as we speak, and so that's what I wanted. It took me forever to get there. I apologize. But you're going to wonder back to the only it matters if it matters to them slide. The reason I have a photo up there of my friend Jeremy Roenick, NHL Hall of Famer, broadcaster, podcaster, business leader, scratch golfer, and all around good guy is this. It's so interesting to me that you can also shuck nerves in the midst of a communication. So I didn't know JR until about a few years ago, right? And we happened to be speaking on a podcast, and you see me in this photo, if you can see it properly, laughing in the midst of a communication. We've grown to become really tight. And I'm terribly grateful for that friendship. But here's why it really matters. Not that I know somebody, that means nothing. Means something to me, but why would it matter to you? JR and I do not agree on a lot of things. He calls me, and I love this, his gay liberal friend. So you can connect the dots in terms of that. And why would that matter to you? I get keyed up when I don't agree with something. I get keyed up when I am not in a comfortable level. And I remember one of the best life lessons that I learned was this. I don't know that we would have become friends in the sense that we disagreed on a lot of things, and the leader of a streaming network called No Filter, which is a great one, by the way. Joe Manuel, I am name checking you. Talked about one time the conversations that JR used to have where we would literally battle on a live stream back and forth about opinions of whatnot. And they mattered to me and they mattered to him. And we would always end it in a great way. And the reason that's so is we both had the gift of listening to each other. One of the best things that you can do in a business conversation to relax, number one, to allow someone to be fully heard. Number two, fully heard. Ask questions so that you fully understand. One of the crutches that people will use in a business conversation, and you really got to be careful here, is to formulate an opinion of someone mid-thought. What do I mean? Well, I think blah, blah, and you right away go to another place in your mind. Remember the part about the limited bandwidth that people have. You're dealing with life circumstances. You do not have unlimited bandwidth. Pay attention in this regard, folks, that point blank, when you have limited bandwidth and you want to go to a conclusion about someone or something before they've come to the conclusion, be really careful. Your physicality changes, your mindset changes, the way that you look changes, and the way that you speak changes too. So I want to go back and really emphasize just one key point, which is the top 3 today in the listening, asking good questions, right? Terribly important. Listen, just listen. Don't come to some goofy conclusion. I've done it in my life, always regretted it. Ask good follow-up questions. Did I understand you correctly? I just want to make sure I got this. Am I hearing you correctly? Really lean in and ask good questions, especially when you're uncomfortable. Especially. Don't be afraid to slow things down a little bit, right? And pay attention to their answers. Pay attention, because what you want to be able to do is focus on the next step, next move, next part of the conversation, right? Again, I've had it happen to me personally, but in a business setting, you can't do that, which is the most important part. What do I do with this information to best serve the client, the audience, the situation, my company, my business? What do I do with this? And that's what we will touch on in future communications. But it is so important. Do not get tripped up midstream with your nerves or your discomfort. Tough questions don't let it happen. The old adage, never let them see you sweat. Here's how. Again, really lean in and listen as opposed to recoil. Lean in. Ask great follow-up questions. And you can always, if you don't know a question to ask, lean in further to that person speaking. Ask them, hey, am I understanding you correctly? This is what people love that. You're actually demonstrating that you're listening. They will soften up, you will soften up, and you can continue the communication. I brought up a name checking. This is not celebrity name checking today, but I brought up Jeremy Roenick because I love the guy. And I wouldn't know that if I just went into factoids, right? So I have a great personal relationship because I was smart enough, lucky enough, whatever enough I've always talked about doing your homework, right? Do your homework, but listen to somebody. React based upon a complete thought. Ask those questions that really matter and make certain you're hearing somebody correctly. And what that does is allow you to be able to progress further in a relationship, personal, business, situational. It works for all. Okay. So I ask you, try this afternoon. Try it. If you're East Coaster like me, try it this afternoon with your business communications. Slow it down a bit. Listen. Make certain you heard correctly in that back and forth, right? And then follow up based upon the complete thought. Telling you your results will absolutely improve. That's what we're all about here. These killer communications tips that'll rock your world that I put on the header today. I mean it. These have been proven in a million different situations for me professionally. By the way, I just dropped my email address, which is jd@duffinmedia.com. You reach out to me on that email address. Here's your keyword: discovery. We will do and I don't do this all the time, but I will do it because you're with me live, a 30-minute discovery call at no cost where we can focus on you specifically, and I'll identify how I am able to help clients, help colleagues to speak better, more professionally, more on point, and I am deeply appreciative that you showed up for me today. So again, you want to tighten your own game up? I'm right here and ready for you. jd@duffinmedia.com. And folks, I am wildly grateful that you showed up for me today. That was great. On a rainy day, often you might want to just tuck yourself in. wherever you are in the world. I hope it's sunny. I do. I hope it's sunny. You're going to have a great rest of your business day. So, with that being said, stay connected. More will follow. John Duffin, Duffin Media, Duffin Coaching. Have a fantastic rest of the day, and we'll definitely talk soon. I'll see you. Bye.